What's going on, guys? Multiverse Sculpt here with yet another action figure review video, and today we're having a look at Batman Arkham City's Batman from McFarlane Toys. As always, guys, starting off this video, we're having a look at the beautiful DC Multiverse McFarlane packaging, and it does, of course, have that open face window with the black, white, and blue DC Multiverse down here with Batman's name down there as well, and this is, of course, a part of the collect-to-build Solomon Grundy figure, and it is first in the wave. Flipping over here to the side, guys, we do see that it says Batman from Batman Arkham City, and then, of course, over here on the back is this beautiful image of Solomon Grundy, and like I said, this is the first of the wave, so this does contain his legs, but it is, of course, the last of the wave for me. Going over here to this side, guys, there's nothing really going on other than DC Multiverse and Batman's name. Flipping over to the top, guys, there's nothing really going on other than the logo, and then down here at the bottom is the barcode for you barcode guys. With all that said, though, let's go ahead and rip Batman out of the packaging and take a closer look. When his parents were gunned down in front of him, young Bruce Wayne resolved to rid Gotham City of the criminal element that took their lives. He trained extensively to achieve mental and physical perfection, in addition to mastering martial arts, detective techniques, and criminal psychology. Dressing as a bat to prey on criminals' fears, Batman fights crime with the aid of specialized gadgets and vehicles operating out of the secretive Batcave below Wayne Manor. So right here, guys, is Batman out of the package, and I think for my first-hand impressions, he looks absolutely amazing. I love this Batsuit, and I always thought that the Arkham City Batsuit was the perfect Batsuit until I saw the Arkham Knight version. That one is top tier for me, but this one is a very close second. Now, in terms of the sculpt, we have seen this one before. It just has a different logo, and it has a different head sculpt altogether. This is, as you see on the screen right now, just a remodel of the Arkham Asylum suit, which is pretty much what the video game suit was, but I do respect McFarlane for sticking to how the suit looked, giving us a little bit of more tweaks. They made it a little more likable in this. I'm not really sure what it is, but we will get into that when we jump into the detail. With all that said, though, guys, let's go ahead and get Batman off of the rotating turntable and take a closer look at the accessories that he comes with. In terms of accessories, guys, Batman unfortunately doesn't come with much. He does, of course, starting out, come with the Solomon Grundy legs. We'll just look at one leg here because they are just pretty much copies of each other than the ripped pants. But it is Solomon Grundy's nasty little toes and his disgusting cracked skin. But we will jump more into that in his video. Go ahead and move that off to the side here, guys. Batman does, of course, come with the McFarlane stand, and it is pretty straightforward. Just DC stamped right there on the front with the classic foot peg off to the side. And he does, of course, come with his own trading card, and the trading card is an image straight from the video game. And flipping over here to the back, guys, is the read-up. If you want to pause the screen and read it right now, you can. Always give you guys that little bit of a second. And then, of course, last but not least, this is a grapnel gun that we have seen before in the Arkham Knight video, and I'm pretty sure, I don't have the figure, I've never been able to track it down, but I'm pretty sure they reused this grapnel gun on the Arkham Knight Batman as well. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, so let me know. But it is just straight black plastic, but it is fairly detailed. It does have its own little grooves in there, so I do like that. I do like that aspect. It does have a little bit of hair on it though there, didn't it? And it is detailed on both sides, so you don't have to worry about one side just being a bland side and the other one actually being detailed. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the accessories and take a closer look at Batman's detail. When it comes to the detail, guys, we are, of course, starting off with the Batman head sculpt, and it does look absolutely amazing. I love how mean they made this Batman look. He is an angry character inside the Arkham franchise. I do, of course, love the iconic Batman long ears that they gave him on this suit. It is absolutely fantastic, and I do appreciate that they gave him the classic white eyes that Batman is known for. Coming from the animated series and the animated movies, Batman, whenever he puts his cowl on, has these white eyes. I also love that it is kind of a little bit of a nod, I'm guessing, to the detective mode. When he does, of course, go into detective mode, his eyes do in fact turn white. Moving down here to his logo though, guys, I do love that they made it a wider and a fatter bat that just covers the front of his chest. I did always feel that the Arkham Asylum suit from McFarlane Toys felt a little, I don't know, kind of choppy. It kind of like narrowed down towards the middle, and it was kind of had some deep points into the chest. It was just kind of overall weird. Flipping over here to the back though, guys, is the cape of Batman, and the cape does look amazing. It is detailed beyond belief, and I do like how they give it that swirl look inside the wind, but sometimes I do feel like they overdo it. But that is not the case for this figure. For this figure, they did hit the nail right on the head. Where I am unlucky though, guys, is over here on this gauntlet here. His little bat blade, or whatever you want to call it, on his little bat spikes, they are bent. I'm definitely going to have to heat these up to get them to stay in place, so it's not going to be too much. But just taking a moment to look at the gauntlets though, guys, I do love that gauntlet. It is big, it's clunky, and of course, he does have these silver brass knuckles covering his knuckles, looking absolutely fantastic. Going down here, the utility belt though, guys, I will say I'm a little let down on it. It's kind of a creamy yellow color, not the classic bronze color from the video game. And it's also a different design. The Arkham City utility belt kind of ovaled out here at the bottom. If I can find a picture, it'll be right there. That is what the belt is supposed to look like. But we did get these little square pouches. It's not too much of a gripe for me. It's just one of those things where it's like, I know you reused it from the Arkham Asylum one. Feels a little lazy, but I get it. If you're crunched for time or whatever you need to do, just reuse what you have. The legs, of course, are the exact same from the Arkham Asylum suit as well. And also the boots. The boots are no different as well. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the detail and take a look at the size and articulation of Batman. When it comes to how tall this figure stands, guys, this Batman does stand at about the looking like 7¼ mark. But if you go up to the top of the ears, he is just a little bit over 7½ inches. But I don't personally count the ears. So to the top of the head, he is 7¼ inches. Going ahead and move him closer to the camera here, guys. Let's go ahead and take him off of the base. Look at the articulation. His head does go up about that far, which is pretty much non-existent. And his head does go down about that far, which is actually really well. Thanks to the ball joint, he does rotate all the way around and does get in some phenomenal head tilt. As for his arms go up about that far, but not really any arm rotation because this is a soft plastic, but his cape does get in the way. When it comes to the bicep swivel, guys, it is a little tight, but it does rotate all the way around. And this Batman does, of course, have single hinged elbows. I'm not so sure why they only gave this one and the Arkham Asylum one single hinged elbows. I feel like double hinge is the way to go on any figure, but I digress on the subject. I'll just be disappointed. It's okay. I'll cry later. Going over here to his wrist now, guys. His wrist does rotate all the way around thanks to that hinge and peg that it is on. And it does hinge quite nicely side to side, but up and down, you don't really get anything at all thanks to this big clunky gauntlet. But it still does look great, so it does make up for that. When it comes to his ab crunch, guys, he does kind of crunch forward just a little bit. But other than that, there's not really much going on. But he does, of course, crunch back a lot farther than he does forward. When it comes to his waist articulation, guys, his waist does rotate all the way around. His legs kick forward about that far. They kick back about that far. He does, of course, have double hinged knees, and his ankle articulation goes down. It goes up. He does, of course, have toe articulation and ankle pivot. I will say, though, I am very disappointed when it comes to the ankle joint and the wrist joints because they are the classic McFarlane ball joints and not the new one that we are getting used to. So it's just kind of a cop-out for the legs and arms on this figure because they are just reused. With all that said, though, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the articulation and take a closer look at the size comparison. Starting off this size comparison, guys, here we have Batman Arkham City next to Ra's al Ghul from Arkham City, and they do stand roughly about the same height, but I'm not sure what it is from my perspective here. Ra's looks a little bit taller than Batman, but I'm also thinking it might just be the spiked up hair. Right here, guys, we do have Batman sized up next to Diamond Select Toys Spider-Man, and I do think that these two scale together nicely, even with Batman borderline towering over Spider-Man. Right here, guys, we do have Batman from Arkham City scaled up next to the NECA Toys Alpha Predator, with the Alpha Predator towering over the Dark Knight. And then, of course, last but not least, we do have Marvel Legends Mr. Fantastic standing next to Batman, and it just simply does not work. Alrighty, guys, and there you have it. Another action figure review video in the books on my channel for you guys to enjoy. When it comes to this figure, guys, I'm going to have to give him a solid 7.5 out of 10. I really wanted to go higher, maybe an 8, maybe a solid 9, 9.5. But due to the lack of accessories and the reused parts on this figure, it's nothing we haven't seen before. And I am also really let down that McFarlane went the cheap route just to reuse those old ball pegs. I do not like those. I never really have liked those. I am really into the new ones that he's been using for the ankle and wrist joints, where they actually put some detail and proper coloration into that part of the figure. But with all that said though, guys, I digress on this subject. If you did enjoy this video, guys, go ahead and smack the like button and hit subscribe. We currently hit 100 subscribers. We have hit the first 100 mark, the first of many. So to you guys, I really do appreciate that. I love each and every single one of you. Make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Later.